Welcome back, everyone. We're back again doing another kind of custom homebrew D&D class, and once again I'm putting this into the animated D&D. I might change up the name for that to be like animated D&D slash homebrew and custom class or something, but I just like how I'd like just having everything in the one spot, so having anything D&D related might be handy in there. We have a couple other things in there that are not exactly anime. We might call it pop culture anime or something, or D&D, but we'll see. Yeah, so today we've gone for the College of Tragedy. I was recently watching back through one of the Critical Role conventions when they were at Emerald City Comic Con, I think it was 2019, and Matt came up with the idea of the College of Tragedy. I don't think I've seen him create anything, and so I was like, you know what, I saw it and I was like, it's essentially an easy way to make a homebrew thing. It's only a little, what do you call it? Archetype, so I don't have to make an entire class, but it was kind of cool. I seen there were some people who created their own ones as well on Reddit and stuff, but yeah, it looked good. So I just came up with this one, and once again we did the first line Bard Colleges, which is basically what you get in the PHP. It's where it breaks up all the different colleges that your Bard could have attended. And so the way of the Bard is gregarious. Bards seek out each other to swap songs and stories, boast of their accomplishments and share their knowledge. Bards form loose associations, which they call colleges, to facilitate their gatherings and preserve their traditions. Which you can find in the PHP and on D&D Beyond in the free version. That's what I use sometimes just to copy paste that little line. Is very handy. But let's get into the College of Tragedy. Bards of the College of Tragedy arouse deep sympathy within all who come across them. They gain favor as easily as pity of open-hearted acquaintances. Their words are known to be eloquent. Sorry, I cannot read my own text. And deeply emotional, often unsettling so. Most people see bards that are of the College of Tragedy are tragic heroes who go to great lengths to circumvent fate. They rally their allies even as though they push through their own suffering. Often bards of this type come from dark and tumultuous pasts or are prone to great suffering. In return, they have greater understanding of the human condition. So, from what I could see online, I just kind of took inspiration from what other people had on, and my idea was a tragic backstory. I was thinking someone was like depressed and everything, and I wasn't sure how to create that because like you would have to go into a college, so it made more sense to kind of make them more Shakespearean tragedy slash Greek not mythos, but kind of Greek tragedy as well. Which kind of like that tragic hero who sacrifices themselves to save everyone. So it's a kind of different, kind of like the martyr of sorts. Although I would have preferred a depressed route because I think that's where Matt was going with his initial idea. But I think to make a college out of someone who's depressed does not seem smart. But the key features or the main features for this archetype is a 3rd level, 6th level, and 14th level. With that, we have bonus proficiencies, Tragic Lament, Ill-Fated Fortunes, Mortal Coil, and Tragic Hero. So we'll just go straight into them. At 3rd level, you get bonus proficiencies. When you join the College of Tragedy at 3rd level, you gain proficiency with the performance and persuasion skills. Jeez, my English is bad today. If you have proficiency already with one of them, your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses either of the skills. So pretty much, it's kind of like getting, I forget what it's called. I just said it in my last video, which is literally I just recorded this one or that one, and now this one. I'm already after forgetting. When you get double proficiency or double proficiency bonus, I forget what it's called. Expertise. I knew it began with E. So essentially you get expertise in this, and it makes sense for them to be kind of more performance-based because they're kind of that Shakespearean Greek idea. So they want to inspire their comrades or anyone, say, in the village that's going through a crisis, and they want to be that guy who's like, I will fight alongside you, I will give up my life to protect you, blah, 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 I need your support, and all that kind of shit. And then persuasion just to kind of back up what they're saying. They might be truthful, but they need that kind of flamboyancy about them to kind of sell it off. And it just makes sense to go with it. And if you could have selected these skills and then changed it up to kind of give yourself expertise. So again, you could have got a proficiency and then chose your expertise as say deception, and then just puts your proficiency into persuasion, and then you get it again, you're getting your expertise so double, just so you could be a little more potent, just like last time with the Undeath Bard, which I'll put a link to up there. And so yeah, it gives you expertise. It's kind of handy if you do it that way. You can also just get bonus proficiency, and you can make yourself just a kind of like a jack of all trades, which you could also go for. At third level, then you get Tragic Lament. At third level, you can use your bonus action to cry aloud in misery. Any attackers who see or hear your lament gain advantage on attack rolls against you and disadvantage against your allies. The attacker is immune if it's immune to being charmed. So it basically has to be within range to hear, so as long as they have ears. So constructs, I think constructs are immune, and then anything that doesn't have ears. That's depending on your DM, and probably oozes as well. But I think this was kind of cool. So basically, they kind of like how with kobolds, they kind of like just cry out in pain and everything, and you give your allies advantage on the target. But in this case, you cry out in pain and you give advantage to yourself against the enemies, and they get disadvantage against your teammates. So basically, kind of making yourself a sacrificial lamb of sorts. So basically, in case the wizard's going down, or the fighter, or paladin, or your healer, the bard cries out, and everyone kind of wants to turn on to him because you're guaranteed an advantage. So it makes sense if the barbarian's going in a rush and there's two of you there, one of you has disadvantage and the other one has advantage, so it makes more sense to go for you. But I'd say in that case they probably know. That could be up your DM's discretion as well. Then at 6th level we have Ill-Fated Fortunes. At 6th level, whenever an ally within 30 feet of you is reduced to 0 health points, you may use your reaction to expend a bardic inspiration. Upon rolling the die and taking the full damage rolled, you can heal your ally for half the damage dealt to you plus your charisma bonus. If this damage reduces you to 0 hit points, double the amount healed to your ally. So they get the full whack of however much you took, they get that full back, which is another thing where it's like if you're going to stab yourself or shoot yourself and basically just injure yourself for the sake to heal your friends, which is kind of cool. So basically they're running away, they fall, and if they're retreating, you're holding back the line, you're like, fuck, they fell, shank, and then they go back up and then they can continue running away. So it kind of makes sense, cool in that regard. And then at 6th level you also get Mortal Coil. At 6th level you learn Death Ward, Phantasmal Killer, and Spare the Dying. These spells count as bard spells for you, but don't count against the number of bard spells you knew. I just was looking for some spells that kind of made sense with the theme, and these are spells that the bard can't, or that the bard naturally can't pick up. So I thought these kind of were cool. Spare the Dying is more of Spare the Dying is kind of more of a cleric spell. Death Ward, cleric spell, and Phantasmal Killer, kind of along the same line. It's both like kind of cleric and wizard, I believe, or those are the kind of main classes that can get them. So it seemed cool, kind of along those lines. And just so like kind of Spare the Dying, so basically you can heal someone. Death Ward, you can prevent them from dying, and in cases where a spell that would instantly kill them, it negates the spell. Tragic Hero, at 14th level, as an action you may begin a performance that lasts for 1 minute or until you are incapacitated. During this time, whenever you take damage, friendly creatures that you choose within 30 feet of you gain temporary hit points equal to your charisma modifier. I would say, depending on how this is, I would say that you would have to make a concentration check if you get attacked. Otherwise it could end, just because you're going to be performing and singing aloud and kind of performing your moves and whatnot. So basically just to keep up concentration. So kind of cool in that regards. But that could also be up to your DM to decide how they want to roll with that. At 14th level, I don't know, you're probably going to have Warcaster, so it's probably not going to make a difference. It's not really a spell, so it's kind of it's in a weird one. I wasn't too sure on it, whether to make a concentration, or maybe you have to keep continually using your action, which you don't want to do. So I was thinking concentration makes the most sense, because at least then you can do other spells. And if you could have a concentration spell up, you could also use this, because technically it's not a spell. So you can kind of get through a loophole with that. But again, up to your DM how they want to use it and take their or word it for them. That'd be my recommendation. But yeah, that is the College of Tragedy. Yeah, so hopefully Matt Mercer comes up with something even better than this. If not, feel free to use it in your campaigns or games or whatever you want. Let me know what you think of it, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Also, there'll be a link in the description below for where you can find it. It'll be on a Google Drive. I don't put my stuff up on DM Guild, because I know you have to pay for that, and some of this stuff I find online that could be like off Wikipedia, so stuff that's not technically original, just like this bard thing, it's taken kind of from other sources and pulled together to be a homogeneous piece that kind of fits the piece, but like technically it's a tiny bit plagiarized, and putting it up on somewhere where some people get donations for it doesn't seem fair. So putting it up in Google Drive, at least then it's free, you guys can check it out. I can say what those is like the Tragic Hero. I believe one of the other people on Reddit had the same thing for level 14 or level 6. I just like the name of it, the Tragic Hero. It's essentially what the a tragic hero in Greek and Shakespearean stories are. So it kind of just makes sense. But yeah, so feel free to check it out, download it using your own games, and let me know what you think. All right, thanks. Bye.